Look.
Listen.
No, you're not allowed to say listen.
Am I not?
Come on. No, come on now.
Oh, sorry.
Bad news. Geese, she's still crying over Mario Lopez, so Taylor's going to have to fill in. Way to go, Taylor.
Oh, hang on. What happened to Mario Lopez?
You'd have to listen to the last episode. Far too long of a...
It
involves
he die?
Gilligan's Island and Nick at Night and George Lopez. No, he's alive. Lopez
good.
Mario Lopez, listen, he's gearing up for Christmas season.
Ant-Man reboot?
Sweater.
Oh,
Wait, he's in Ant-Man? Mario Lopez?
No, I was just stab in the dark there. I was just assuming it was a Marvel movie.
Are you thinking about the side character in Ant-Man and the Wild Wasp?
No, not oh God, I can't remember his name at all.
Guillermo Giancarlo Esposito?
No. That guy was in Lost or something. What's his name? He was in Lost Training Day, huh?
Lost is a good show.
Lost is a great show.
There's a show I see you wrote down, and I started laughing because for the past couple of weeks, we just keep talking about Severance, either here or Response Message Boys are also talking about Severance. You've only seen it once, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's better the second time.
I'm going to watch it again right before season 2 comes out in 2034 or whenever that is.
No, it won't be that long. They're already filming. it. I can't wait for the next season of Fire and Blood, House of Dragon. That show is better than Game of Thrones. So if you haven't been watching it, you have been watching it?
Yeah, I watched, I think, 3 or 4 episodes, and I just watched them straight. That is an easy to watch show.
You're edge of your seat the whole time. And now you can read Fire and Blood for free with your library card.
Oh, yeah.
You're bad at reading books.
Yeah, so bad. I don't know what happened to me, because I guess it's like all the bombardment and stimulation and everything. I used to read, it wasn't like one book a day, but it was one book every like 2 or 3 days when I was a kid, because I have reading time. Is that a trend?
What all I'm trying to say is people who say, "Oh yeah, I read a book a week," or "I read a book a day." I'll believe a book a week. I'll believe it. But if you're trying to tell me you can rip through a book in 1 to 2 days, no.
I'm not reading like Tale of Two Cities. I was like 6. I was reading like little Where the Red Ferns Grow.
Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. Okay. I'm specifically talking about adults. Yes. Yeah. I'm talking about adults. Yes, I understand some people are good at speed reading. I understand some people have good comprehension skills. All I'm saying is you're not really absorbing that book in a day.
100%.
You're looking at the pages, you're seeing a couple words, you're getting the gist.
And then you're just thinking about work.
Gist. Yeah, exactly.
We have a friend who reads all these, like, the nonfiction people are real bad. Like, if you give me someone who likes a bunch of sci-fi, and they're like, oh, I read this, and it's like a fun thing. As soon as you get to somebody who's like really deep into nonfiction and self-help, they immediately get preachy. It takes them like 20 seconds, and they're telling you how to live your life. And every single time, oh gosh, it's so weird. It's like, oh wow, I talked to this apple farmer or I read this book by this apple farmer in Northern Africa, and now I've started only wearing organic cotton socks. And it's like, well, okay, that's nice that you've done that, but gets into that territory. So yeah, it's great. I wish I could do it. Kinda. I don't know. Not really.
No. Well, hey. Ignorance is bliss. Well, no, he has more knowledge. He has more knowledge.
Yeah, that's why he's spreading his unhappiness to me.
Oh my God, North Africa. Yeah. Big updates before we continue into what we've watched. First time I can recall this ever happening. A bird has pooped on my head while I was trying to do a raid in Pokemon Go. And I tried to wipe it off, and I guess I did a great job, but still never felt like I was successful. Even after I got clarification, is the wrong word to use, but I got confirmation from people that said, yeah, there's no poop in there. Oh my God. I got to jump ahead a little bit. So this week, the past like 2, 3, 4 days has been terrible for us Pokemon Go players because they disabled the auto catchers in my Pokeball.
The physical ones?
Yeah, this little guy, my Pokeball.
Why did they?
Okay, all right. So, oh my God. And it's so infuriating because they didn't even let people know in a good way. You had to go to the Niantic help Twitter and you'd see replies saying, "Oh, we've temporarily disabled it," for days. And that's how so many heavy Pokemon Go. The players who would care the most, that's how they play. They play with the catchers because they're doing other things
Right.
with the game, playing all day, catching hundreds of Pokemon. So they introduced a Pokemon recently, like a week ago or what have you, Zorua. Zorua is from Generation 5, and Zorua has the ability Illusion, which works similar to Ditto, where it appears to be a different Pokemon, but then you fight it and you say, oh, it was really a Zorua the whole time. The difference is when you're fighting a Ditto, it still says Ditto, but with Zorua, it actually changes the name of the Pokemon, so you really
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
sick. Okay.
Yeah, it's sick. Until
Yeah.
now, it's everybody's least favorite Pokemon because he's completely ruined Pokemon Go. So here's the glitch. They didn't test for this little Zorua at all because everything went wrong with Zorua. What would happen with Zorua is it would appear to be your buddy Pokemon. And in a perfect world, how it was supposed to work is you'd be walking around with your Poke Walker, with your little, or your Pokeball, your Poke Go Plus, your Poke Plus Plus Plus. You'd walk around, you'd press the button, and you catch a Zorua. Instead, what would happen, because on the map it appeared to be your buddy, you would just catch a copy of your buddy. So people could put out shiny mythicals and they'd just be catching tons of them. So they had to turn off
Oh.
the Poco everything for everybody rather than just turn off Zorua until they figured out
I was
Zorua.
going to say, why not just disable Zorua?
Yeah, that's what we all said.
Who makes the balls?
Well, they don't make them anymore, but that was Nintendo. Nintendo made my Pokeball specifically for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, the Switch games, the remakes of Pokemon Yellow. But there's also the ones I guess Niantic makes, or they hire a company to make the ones that they don't work as well, if you ask me. But the Pokemon Go Plus that came out years before. But it's more than an inconvenience. This costs so many people money because none of us knew what was going on. So I personally know people that went out and spent money because they thought their Pokemon Go bracelet or whatever was broken. So they spent
so there wasn't
money.
even like
No.
an announcement in the game?
Nowhere in the game does it say we've
Jeez.
disabled Bluetooth. It just keeps trying to connect. So that's what I thought. I thought there was something wrong. I was devastated. I thought there was something wrong with my Pokeball that you can't buy anymore. These are discontinued. You can't find them anymore.
At least they're continuing the Niantic tradition of upsetting the fan base with broken stuff. That's exciting.
All you got to do is get somebody with a big enough following to yell at them, and then they fix the problem. The huge one that happened, how long ago was it now? Like it feels like a year and a half at least ago, when they halved the distance that you could spin stops from. And thank goodness they reverted that back to the. In their defense, they were saying, well, when the game started, this was what the distance was. We only added the double for people, I think, for the pandemic or something. But oh my God. So with half distance, I could no longer play the game the same way at work or at home. Because at work and home, I would be sitting close enough to all these stops that I could pull the Pokeballs and everything from them. But anyway, that's enough Pokemon Go talk for one day. Was there anything else I needed to mention?
Really interesting.
Oh, this week is very exciting. I'm very busy this week because tomorrow I'm going to see Shelly and Steven to go see Mother in San Diego. Very exciting.
Sick. That's
and then,
sick.
Oh my God. And guess what? I'm going to be on the VIP list. So I just get to walk right in. So
nice.
sick.
They give you a badge?
No.
You're going to get like a bag?
I don't know. They're
give you a bag with swag in it? They got to give you a swag bag if you have a VIP pass?
No, I'm just gonna be on the list.
They're gonna know who you are?
Yes, they're gonna. It was so
you gotta,
funny.
At some point, you gotta say, don't you know who I am?
I'm gonna say, don't you know who I am?
You have to say that.
No, look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. It's very amusing. The last time they were in Los Angeles, I think it was January, and I was also on the list at that point, and I was waiting in line with these people. I had actually bought a ticket for just the regular show, but I was on the list to get into the like special VIP pre-show exclusive acoustic Q&A, whatever segment. I was on the list. So everybody else had these printed out tickets or what have you, or on their phone. And I didn't have that. And I said, no, I'm on the list. And she said, no, I don't see you on here. And I said, The lead singer of the band put me on there this morning. I promise you I'm on the list. And then she sees that I'm in a separate section where it's clearly
so
added
sick.
after the fact. And it's weird because, I mean, I'm not some fancy schmancy person, but as soon as she saw that I was on the list, she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And pulled me out the line. Pulled me out of the line and brought me to the front. I was like, "No, he's good. He's fine. To
Oh,
all the
that's so
people.
sick. That's how I felt. I went to the Hogwarts area of Universal with Dana on her birthday, and we were standing in line for one of the things. It was like the most elaborate Harry Potter ride. It's in Hogwarts or whatever, and we were standing
Talking
in
about
line,
here?
yeah, and it ended up
The Hagrid?
yeah, in Universal City. So we go through the line and everything, and we're waiting forever, and then the ride shuts down. And I was like, "Yeah, we got to go." And they said, "We're going to put you on a special list," because I actually talked to somebody, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Can you give me a code word?" And she said, you don't need to. You can just, here's a ticket. And I said, I want a code word. So she gave me like a code word or something. And I was like, you need to tell somebody else that I have this code word and I want that to be my way of getting in. Because you go through like a side entrance to get to this specific segment of the line. So maybe 2-3 hours go by and I'm with Dana, who, she has like social anxiety. So
Oh, yeah, we all know.
yeah, everybody knows that. I tweet about it all the time.
Yes.
So we go to this like shadowy corner of the entry to the ride, and there's an employee standing there, and the word was like spellbinding or something. And I walk up
Wait,
to
hold
her,
on.
and
Before you continue,
yeah.
I just have one question.
Hmm.
In your mind, do you want other people to hear you give the code word?
I just need this interaction for myself. I could have done it with a wall with a microphone, and I would have been happy.
Okay. Well, the plot hole I'm finding is if anybody hears you say the code word, they're going to know the code word.
Oh, no one did. This is a
Unless
very
you
shadowy
whispered it
corner.
into the... Okay.
Well, the thing is, I didn't. So I go over to this girl, and I'm like this large guy going up to this. She's probably like 19-year-old Universal employee, and she's just like staring at me as I'm like proudly walking towards her. I got the like arm swinging and everything, and I lean in and I go, "I hear this ride is spellbinding," and she just looks. She looks at me with this just completely unamused look, and she goes, "Oh, it's you. Yeah, right this way." And it was very opposite of your experience, but that's the closest I got to a VIP access story.
That was beautiful. You did. You did.
Universal.
All right. What?
Oh, I just
Muttering
said
into your...
Universal.
What are you saying?
I'm saying Universal.
What? All right.
Oh, wait, no, I wanted to ask you about the bird. Did you develop like some weird PTSD from the bird poop?
I look up more now.
Okay, that happened to me. I was on my way to Disney one time, and I was like, great day, real excited about the future or whatever. And all of a sudden, a bird poops on my head. And since then, anytime a bird flies over, I'm just like traumatized, even though that's happened to me once in my life. I'm now,
Well, when the bird pooped on my head, I immediately thought of you and your hair cream that you would sometimes just leave as a sploop on your head. Just a big hair crembo, just plop.
Yeah,
I'd say, girls, you got a bunch of plop in your hair. And you'd say, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how you walk around looking like you've been pooped on by birds because you just don't bother glooping your hair.
Well, because if I keep the gloop in and a bird poops on my head again, I just say it's gloop. I just say it's gloop. It's organic. I read an autobiography earlier, and I should be using more bird poop in my hair. Yeah.
All right. Enough of that.
Yeah.
Why don't you? Oh my God, did we discuss all you're watching already? Severance and House of Dragon?
Yeah, I've only been. I watched the first episode of Succession, and have you seen that show?
Get through it. I couldn't get through it.
I watched the first episode and I was like, it felt like all the characters felt very real and everything, but I'll give it like maybe 1 or 2 more episodes because I feel like it's a good show. Don't like the camera work.
People love it.
People go nuts over that.
I'd have to look up what I said when I first watched it, but my experience sounds like it was similar to yours. Maybe it's one of those like... Could be similar to when I tried to watch Mad Men for the first time, where I just don't like the characters because they're bad. So I'm just like, I can't do it.
That was my experience with Peaky Blinders. Did you ever watch that?
Peaky Blind. No, somebody
I
asked me to watch it once, and I said, "Oh, okay," and then I didn't. And then I met up with them, and they said, "Did you watch it?" And I said, "No." Didn't go too well. It's great.
Yeah, it's not great. It's like one of those power fantasy shows.
Like
The
Peaky
main
Blinders or
I love Cillian Murphy.
Succession?
Cillian Murphy? No, Peaky Blinders.
Gillian Anderson. But I
Yeah.
watched. I've seen clips on YouTube of Peaky Blinders. I think it was Peaky Blinders where I thought it was a pretty good little scene. I don't have plans to watch it right now.
It's full of those. But the problem is like there's no tension because the main character is just basically a walking god and makes no mistakes, is never on the back end of any kind of interaction. He's always taking control of everything. All the characters are jerks and they try to write it off as like, "Oh, but they care about family." And it's like, "Well, no, they're just awful and less
But can he
likable."
fly?
Almost. I think that's next season. Or maybe in the movie because they stopped the show. So it's going to be developed by Marvel. Mario Lopez is going to be in the Peaky Blinders Marvel movie.
He was getting too powerful. They had to stop. Okay, let me tell you what I watched real quick. Golly.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. You stop. What are you doing? Okay. I was excited about this because I used to love watching the Munsters on Nick at Night.
Oh yeah.
And yes, I get it. Some people say, "Oh, Munsters, that's bad. Addams Family is good." Yes, the Addams Family movies are good.
What was wrong with the Munsters?
Do I bring up every single day that I still don't get Addams Family? Yes. Meaning, what do they want? Because I just need to know if one of their family members died, would they be happy about that fact?
I felt like they were all immortal. That's how I like wrote it off in my head as a kid.
There is magic in that world. There's mysticism and walking hands and creatures. So I guess that would kind of make sense.
I just needed to there's just like that I think the angle where there aren't any stakes is how you have to watch that. They're just goofballs playing pranks all the time and everything's funny at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I felt like Wednesday wanted her brother dead. That's what I thought.
That's what I'm getting at. Like they're always trying to kill each other. It's crazy. Okay. But all I'm trying to say is that I tried to watch the Munsters reboot by Rob Zombie.
Oh, it was what? No, you have to tell me about that.
It's so horrific. Okay, you and I like bad horror movies. We sit there, we enjoy, we laugh, we have a great time. I can't get through this stupid Munsters movie. I've tried a few times.
What's the format?
Acting, it's on Netflix.
So like is it like animated or live action?
No. It's just a filmed. It looks like the quality of like a low budget BBC show or maybe like a Puppet Master 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
It's so bad. The acting from the person playing Lily, I've seen that acting before in middle school. I've seen it in like high school. It's where they walk around like this, hands up like this. Like I don't know why, but that's big middle school, early high school acting.
Because you never know what to do with your hands.
Right. It just looks real bad. So yeah, I can't get through it. I can't even get to the introduction of Herman Munster. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to get there.
Yeah. Rob Zombie of all people.
And then yesterday for Halloween, I was going to say 3 Halloween movies. I watched 2 Halloween-y movies and then 1 non-Halloween movie. I watched Armageddon Time because that got really good reviews.
What is it?
It was fine. It's a story about this Jewish kid in 1980, and he makes friends at his public school with this black kid, and then a bunch of stuff happens, and there's obviously racism involved, and he gets sent to a different school, and hijinks ensue. But I think there's some good in that film. Oh, some good. It got incredible reviews. The people in my theater didn't like it, as they declared as they walked out of the theater.
Oh, no.
but it was a fine movie. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna win a bunch of awards, but it was interesting enough. Also, is the award? Golly, the reviews made me want to go see it, but the number two reason I really wanted to go see it is it's one of those movies where it's in Los Angeles and New York now and coming everywhere else later. So I go, well, I gotta go just because it's
Yeah,
playing. I
you
gotta feel like
gotta.
special. I got
Yeah, I would do that.
like the
Gotta.
bet one of the number one, easily top three,
Mhm.
easily top three best movie theater experiences of my life was seeing Licorice Pizza. It was I look,
I never even saw that.
it's very good.
Hmm.
I saw it before it came out at like this premiere day thing.
Mhm.
You've probably been to this theater actually. I can't remember the name of it, but it's west of where we live.
Mhm.
And it's this beautiful old theater. And this movie is set in the 70s on film with this film grain in this projector. The director of the movie is presenting it. I'm sitting in this theater and I feel like I'm in the 1970s. And I don't
That's
mean like,
sick.
oh, you really feel like you're Kratos. I mean, I was able to convince myself I was in the 1970s and it was
That's
such a
so
magical
sick.
experience. Oh my God.
That's real
The
sick.
main actor, what's her name? Let me look it up. Cut this out. I don't like she's part of the band, with the
Oh yeah,
girls.
she's in the band. Yeah, the one that put you
You
on the
know the
list.
girls.
The girls?
Don't say anything too funny because I'm cutting it out.
I won't. I won't.
Alana Haim. Is it
Wow.
Ham or
That
Haim?
I'll say, hey.
Haim, yeah, Haim.
Yep. I don't even know if I've ever read that name
She
before.
looks like she's from the 1970s, so it just works so well. I've never seen a 1970s looking face more in my life. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Theater experiences? What?
Yeah, great theater experiences. You went to see Armageddon
Why am I
time
bringing that up though?
because Licorice Pizza was a great. The second reason you saw Armageddon
Oh,
time.
right, because it's a period piece, 1970s versus 1980. All right,
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
exclusive theater experiences. How is
Mm.
Terrifier? Hmm.
Well, hold on. We're not.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
get through Smile first.
Oh god, that's a toughie. Probably. I
What?
don't know. I wanted to see that. That's a psychological horror, right?
Okay. Smile. I had zero interest in watching it until once
Hmm.
again reviews came out. Very good reviews, very high Rotten Tomatoes. So I said, well, here's how Smile came about. I was going to see two movies yesterday, Terrifier 2 being one of them.
Hmm.
God, you pulled it off. You somehow got me to talk about Terrifier 2 before I'm ready. Okay. Only reason I'm seeing Terrifier 2 is because I hear that, oh my God, nobody could stay in the theater. We got people throwing up in their popcorn and running out of the theater.
They
And when
say that
people
for
say that,
every
I go,
movie.
oh, let me go see. Let me go see it. So, of course, I had to watch Terrifier 1, and I talked about that last week. But
Mm.
so I'm going to go see Terrifier 2 on Halloween and also Armageddon time. And then there's a 2-hour window in
Uh-huh.
between those two showings. So, because of that, I say, well, I'll just watch Smile then as well. Smile was good.
Hmm.
I think I rated it 3 pumpkins out of 5 on the 31 Days of Halloween channel for reviewing Halloween movies in October or spooks movies.
Okay, nice average movie. All
It's
right.
yeah, it's enjoyable. It's very well shot, very well made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tiny little baby spoilers for plot, so you can skip ahead 20 seconds if you don't want to hear this. It follows vibes,
Oh, that's
and I
cool.
can appreciate that.
Yeah, I like that too.
So you can come back probably. It's just I didn't realize that it was going to be that kind of movie. I like world building, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose, with horror movies and like explanations on how something happens. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a fun movie. Some shocking moments. So I'd say wait, I hit my when I was talking, so I have to
Your drum set?
say that. I didn't do the drums. That was you. You were clicking something. We tried to record earlier. I couldn't hear Taylor, but then came out of the computer, and he
I was
says that
shocked.
wasn't me. I thought
I,
it was you
I was sitting there fiddling with the
because he's a
mute button,
liar.
and I couldn't understand what happened. And I was like, "Oh, Michael must have started getting into more
No,
sound effects."
no. Why would I? You
I
can't
don't
hear him.
know.
All right.
Oh, I
Smile.
did
Good
see. I
movie.
did. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna
Go
say something
ahead.
that I saw, but I'll get to that later. It was Smile. Good
Ah,
movie. It Follows. I loved It Follows.
It Follows. I just said spoilers. Skip ahead a little bit if you don't want to hear that.
No one would know that. It's too vague. It's too vague.
Oh my god. Terrifier 2, much better than Terrifier 1, which is amusing because when I talked about how I wasn't really into Terrifier 1, I was immediately told by a big Terrifier 1 fan, oh, if you don't like Terrifier 1, don't even bother with the sequel. It's the exact same, but twice as long. I completely disagree. I think Terrifier 2 makes that world a lot bigger and more interesting. And clearly they had more money and time to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know about time. They certainly had more money. It's clear.
It was one of those shock movies, right? More or less.
Yeah, it is a huge gore fest. I wouldn't. So if you can't handle gore at all, don't watch it. But it is nowhere near how people were trying to describe it. I knew watching I'll just quickly recap. The first one, there is a scene in the first one where I was watching and I went, oh, I see why people talk about this movie. Because of this specific scene, it like rivals what you would see in like a Hostel or something. And I went,
That's
okay,
an
I can
upside
see
down
how.
scene, right?
Spoilers. How do you know?
That's pretty vague. I think I've watched like a couple synopses on it.
Okay. Yes, that scene from the first one. And the second one, I don't think really does. There's wild kills in the second one when you go, oh my goodness, but I don't think any as shocking or memorable as that kill in the first one. Not that I'm some big gore horror fan that goes out of my way. I just, I like watching the bad horror movies. I don't know why. Lots of people do. Maybe they can give a better explanation as to why.
Do you remember the sentiment that was kind of swimming around when the Human Centipede came out? And like the first one, and people were saying, oh, this is because I have an opposite experience to you as far as when I hear movies are shocking, and it's partly because of Human Centipede. So that movie comes out, everybody says, oh my god, it's the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. And we were in college at that time, so I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. And I watched it and I was like, like if you're
just the premise.
Yeah, I guess. I just couldn't put myself in that frame of mind, maybe. But
Tusk, I think, is way crazier than
me too.
Human Centipede.
That traumatized me at the end. That you remember that zoom in or zoom out? It was a zoom out at the end. That still sticks with me.
We watched that in the tiniest theater in Los Angeles. The smallest screen.
God,
next to your is that next to the place with the Chateaubriand?
No. Yes. Yeah. It's down the street. It's down the street.
No. Are you? Yes. Oh, so this guy's been being recommended to everybody on YouTube lately. His name is Adam, but he has a YouTube channel called Beard Meets Food. He's the number one competitive food eater in the UK. I think worldwide he's number 15, but he makes very entertaining videos. And they keep getting recommended, so I keep watching them. He's very entertaining. And he had one where he was eating some Chateaubriand, and I thought, man, I want some Chateaubriand.
It's fantastic. We'll have some when I come back. It'll be great.
Okay.
Games.
Did I talk about Terrifier 2 to any extent?
You said world building, increased scope, which I like. I like when a sequel can step something up in a way. Like I like that it doesn't have, from what you're saying at least, like almost a money shot. Like I like that it's not just a rinse and repeat with more money of the first one.
There's one kill. The director of the movie. Oh my god, I keep going off on tangents, but let me bring this up again. I know I've had to mention this before. So in Terrifier 2, you sit there and before the movie starts, it says, stay tuned after the end for an exclusive interview with the director and the actor who plays Art the Clown. So, okay, I say, sure, I'll watch that. Oh my God. Immediately, before the post-credit scene even starts, way before the interviews start, we got the employee coming in to clean and all these guys just standing. They're about to walk out and they're standing through the end credit scene, and it's just making me so nervous that they're all standing and I'm sitting. And the guy with his little broom and his little sweep up, because it has to go through the in credit scene, the entire credits, and the about 15-minute interview at the end. This man is in this theater for like 40 minutes. And I hate it because I understand they need to clean. It's not that there's not that many people in there. There was probably, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 or something people. But it's not that messy that you have to make me feel bad. I know I'm preaching to the choir with you. You girls stay at the end of credits for everything. But I just sit there feeling bad for watching what's in front of me on the screen that I have a ticket for. Because his presence over there sweeping, oh my God. So I mentioned it, I think a couple podcasts ago, but I was in a movie. The second the credits ended, no time at all. The second the credits end and the lights go on, before I have a chance to grab my backpack. So we're talking less than 90 milliseconds for my hand to move to my backpack.
Yeah.
In less than 2 frames, a man walks in and says, "Hey, are you here for the next showing?" And I go, "No, God, can I stand?" It takes at least.
He pulled a "you ready for dessert" when you haven't gotten the main. Oh, that's great.
He's frame perfect stand he needs. Oh my God, this guy. Okay.
I don't like staff being present at all when I'm having any kind of experience.
Oh my God.
It's just weird. Shopping, eating, like movies, anything like that.
God, before Marvel movies, people must have really hated you because Marvel movies really popularized the idea of stingers and in credit scenes.
Yeah.
Before then, most people just left during the credits, so they must have really hated you. But now they're all just give them more time to clean and change the hours. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not like theaters are packed anymore. So I totally agree. Like, throw a 5-minute window in there.
Unless you're at a midnight showing or these days 6 p.m. showing on a Marvel movie day for a big one, yeah, you're not going to find a packed theater. Come on now.
It's crazy.
I mean, well, in Los Angeles, there are the VIP whatever special.
Yeah, but you have to be on the list for that.
You got to be on the list. I don't know if Shelly listens to these, but she's going to get a kick out of on the list, quote unquote. Okay, why don't you tell me the games you play?
Games I've been playing. It's I haven't actually been playing a lot of games. Pretty much I got back into Overwatch 2. Still playing on laptops.
Back in, it just launched.
Yeah. I mean, like it's the thing with Overwatch 2 is it's basically like an update of Overwatch 1. I would say it's
Overwatch 1.1.
Far cry from a sequel. Even if they had PvE content, I don't think it should be called a sequel. But
no.
You know,
Destiny
that's
2
fine.
should also just be called Destiny, but unfortunately they can't. Legally, they have to keep it Destiny 2 because of Activision. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Since Activision owned Bungie at the time, they needed to, because the whole thing was Destiny is going to be this 10-year project or whatever they said.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Now it's going to be longer than that, but they should have just kept it Destiny, but Activision wanted to throw a 2 on there to try to get more money, and it really does just it makes it gross.
It's got the Bobby Kotick treatment.
Makes it less cool and sleek. Anyway, continue.
So pretty much just been playing that, playing more Ys 9. I played the Star Ocean demo, and that didn't really wow me in any one way or another. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing super interesting. So one of the things I watched was, I think it's called The Woman Queen. It's like this really out of place. Have you seen that?
I've seen. Are you talking about
has Viola Davis
in Africa?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I've seen previews for it, trailers for it.
So I knew nothing about it, and I was like, well, I want to watch something tonight because I haven't seen anything in like a month, so I'm just gonna go to whatever. And I watched it, and some of the scenes were fun, but it seemed like a movie so far out of time. And I wish it had come out like 15 years ago. I mean, it wouldn't have been as popular 15 years ago, but it was perfect for that time. It was a perfect action movie for 15 years ago. It's fine. Had John Boyega in it, which was surprising. He was real fun to watch. But that's about it. No game. What have you been playing?
Okay, so because of PlayStation Star, have you been doing your PlayStation Stars quests?
No, what? I don't even know what those are.
It's a new rewards program they rolled out where they just want to PlayStation wants to reward its players by doing little quests like play this game or
It's a battle
play a
pass.
match in that.
They
No,
made a
it's
battle
completely no, it's
pass.
completely free. You don't have to. It's just a completely optional little rewards program. You can win
Battle
like
passes
PSN
are free.
bucks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's sick.
Battle passes cost money. What are you talking about? So one of them, what, and I'm about not to say you have to spend money, but this is just one quest. It
Mm-hmm.
says, "Here, why don't you buy one of these games?" And I saw the list of games, and one of the games on there was Inscryption, which
Mm-hmm.
I knew came out on PC and people really liked it. Now it's on PlayStation. I don't actually remember the release date. PlayStation sometime earlier this year, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love card games. I love, Pokemon Trading Card Game,
Ah.
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it's not a card game like that. I'm not going to spoil Inscription, but let's say it can get spoiled very easily. And I am so grateful people did not spoil Inscription for me because that game is wonderful. That
Really?
game's astounding. And so it was on sale for their October spooky sale, and it was on the list for games you can win PlayStation Stars request or PlayStation reward quests for buying it. So I buy it and I play it for a while, and I went, okay, this is fun. But since you're playing with a deck of cards, it's randomized each time, obviously. Each time you play, and it's like it's not a roguelike, but if you lose, you start over, but you get benefits from your previous playing, right?
Okay.
So I get real far each time in Act One, let's say. That
Okay.
is what they call it, Act One. And I get close to the end, and I figure out all these different ways. And there's a bunch of puzzles in the game, and it's super sick. And I finally get this build where I go, oh, we've got it. There's no way I can lose now. I was so excited. I get this. This is going to mean nothing to you, but I get this totem that makes it where every squirrel I play is unkillable. So
What?
in this
Every single
game,
one?
so you know how
Squirrels are
I'm trying to think.
invincible. Yes.
No, not normally. They're not.
Ah.
Have you have any familiarity with Hearthstone at all?
I know it's a deck builder.
Okay, so you're aware that in, let's say, these two games, Magic the Gathering and Pokemon the Trading Card Game,
Mm-hmm.
both of those games you slowly build up, right, each turn, but you better hope you get your energy, you better hope you get your land card, right?
Right. Yeah. You
So
need resources. Yeah.
newer card games have tried to alleviate that fear by introducing, in Hearthstone, for example, and a lot of other games like Marvel Snap, that new game, instead of hoping you get a land card, what
Mm-hmm.
happens is every single turn you get to use one more, let's call it an action point to, play more powerful cards. So, turn one you get one, turn two you get two, so on and so forth.
Oh, okay.
So in this game, I guess it's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh, where to play cards, typically you have to sacrifice other cards. So
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of each turn, you have a choice between drawing a card or drawing a squirrel. You only get one. So
Everyone gets
choose wisely.
squirrels?
Yeah, everybody has a pile of squirrels. You can grab because the squirrels have 0 attack, 1 defense or whatever. You're just using them to sacrifice to play better cards, right?
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's fun.
They
What are you
changed
talking about?
resources to squirrels. Instead of a swamp, you're playing a squirrel.
Well, yeah,
I guess
because you're playing
it
little
doubles as a
wolves. They got to
monster.
eat. They got to eat the squirrel.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I see.
Okay. So I get this totem early on in the game that makes every squirrel invincible. What does that mean? That means that instead of on one turn, am I playing one card? I'm playing down my squirrel, sacrificing it, playing my card. The squirrel immediately comes back into my hand. I play it again, sacrifice it, play my next card, sacrifice it again.
You
So
can't lose.
I can. Well, it's tough to, but with that totem, I finally managed to beat Act One, and I thought to myself, "Oh, so sick! I've finally done it." And then the game just, I can't talk about it any further because as soon as you do that, this game, I love being surprised in games, and this game really did a good job with surprising me. I cannot spoil it, but I very much recommend the game. It's
Sick.
probably still on sale, maybe. Okay.
Hmm.
And then to get a bunch of other PlayStation Stars quests. I downloaded all these games real quick. Or actually, I didn't download most of them. Most of them I played through my PlayStation Premium streaming option, just because on the app it says if you launch these games, then you'll get the PlayStation Stars request. And all the games listed are on your PlayStation Extra tier. So you don't have to pay for them because you already, quote unquote, own them.
Okay.
The bad thing about Extra is it doesn't work like Plus. Plus is as long as you redeem them, you'll always have access to them as long as you have a PlayStation Plus membership. Extra works like Xbox Game Pass, where you have access to it as long as it's part of their thing. But it'll be removed at some point, so enjoy it while you can.
That's why I've been playing Ys 9 instead of
Smart.
You could Like a Dragon, because Like a Dragon was on Plus, I think.
No, Like a Dragon's on Extra. Like a Dragon's on Extra, so you do want to beat that.
I thought it was. I could have sworn it was on Plus. Okay, yeah. So then I need to.
So, yeah, you got it. Okay, so I loaded up on Yep.
Cue the drum roll. Cue the drum roll.
All right. I loaded up Uncharted 4, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human. Okay. The PlayStation Plus, the internet here is very good. Very good. Hundreds and hundreds down and up.
And pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah, remember Starry's pizza parties? When they were trying to market to the building? They would just be standing out there with a bunch of pizzas every Friday.
This is like Popcorn Friday. Remember, I was trying to tell you about Popcorn Friday, and you didn't remember Popcorn Friday at Chase Bank every Popcorn Friday?
God.
I can't believe I forgot about Starry Pizza Party. Why do you remember Starry Pizza Parties? That was my thing.
Because I saw them. I never went to them. I just saw them, and they kept trying to give me pizza.
Starry Pizza Party?
I went like one time. That was when we were still doing the TR65 or whatever the code was. Domino's.
Are you Teomed 3T6?
Yeah,
I thought you were giving away our Wi-Fi password over the internet. But no, Teomed, I still try it sometimes, Teomed 3T6.
I do too.
So for any of you Clambos unaware, there was a beautiful period of time when somehow I received forbidden knowledge of a coupon code that you use for Pizza Hut, and it just gave you the cheapest pizzas imaginable, especially for this area where there's 1,000 fees and California fees and Los Angeles fees, and it's way more expensive than wherever the heck you live. But TEO MED 3T6 just gave you incredibly good deals, and one day they disabled it, and it was the saddest day of our lives.
It was so funny because you'd be walking up, and for some reason that location, there are always people buying full price pizzas. Always. They're just like, I would like a large one topping pie, and then everybody has a straight face in the room, and the employee says that will be $24. And the person says,
throw up on the spot.
Very, very good, and gives them money. And I'm just sitting there, like going back and forth between them. Like someone's going to break. Like someone's going to say this is wrong. Like this is a farce.
I can't believe it. There are people out there who are just too embarrassed to say anything. Like me at fancy steak restaurant when I see $16 charge for chimichurri sauce.
For the sauce.
Because Taylor in his big birthday bash, where he forces everyone to spend hundreds of dollars on steak, he orders a side of sauce. So I thought that was in style at the time, and I thought that's what you're supposed to do. So I say, "Oh yes, my good man, I'll have a chimichurri." And then we get the bill, and I see $16 for chimichurri sauce, and I just go, "Don't say anything."
In my defense, that steak should always have a béarnaise sauce, and it didn't have a béarnaise sauce, and I don't know why. So I thought I was correcting a blunder. I didn't know I was just signing up to be part of a pyramid scheme.
Blunders all around. Okay, what was I talking about?
Terrifier 2.
No, I'm not the video games. Okay, all I'm saying is we got distracted on pizza parties. We have good internet. PlayStation streaming is horrific. I was about to say some swear words, but it's dog defecation. It is bad. Don't do it. It's so terrible. Now, you couldn't stream Returnal, so I had to re-download Returnal and launch that one. Okay, this is the big thing. Okay, look. What just launched a few days ago was the DLC for Resident Evil 8 Village, which, as everybody knows, if you like that game, it's thanks to me because I told them in the focus test group, nah, you need to make it more scary. Way too much action. And they said, yes, sir, of course, right away, sir.
Nice. On
Anyway,
another list.
the DLC, Villages of Rose, Shadows of Rose, which is an epilogue to the game, is very good. My recommendation is switch to Japanese voice acting immediately because the script is so bad and the
Oh,
acting is not good. So switch to
oh.
Japanese so at least it'll sound cool.
That
But
that's con-
there's
Sorry, go
what?
ahead. I was going
No,
to
go
ask
ahead.
if it's considered a AAA game now. It is, right?
Resident Evil? It's always
Yeah.
been AAA. It's never
Okay.
not been AAA.
When they kind of did the sort of soft reboot, Biohazard, whatever, for the last entry, it felt smaller. Like it didn't feel like a AAA game at
What?
all. To
You're
me, I thought it
crazy.
was a better game. That's my favorite Resident Evil game, I think.
Wow.
But
It's never not been AAA.
it
But
felt just like the quality was too high and too unique, and it was like they took too much of a risk with the series for it to be in that AAA tier. Maybe I do it by like how much action is in it. Maybe that's how my brain does that.
no, it's always been AAA. You can have a bad AAA game. Like Resident Evil 6 is still AAA, even though it's bad. But
Right,
anyway,
right.
the DLC gameplay wise, very, very good. There's a lot of scary moments in it. There's gameplay decisions which I thought to myself, oh, this is brilliant. And I thought, there's no way somebody hasn't done this before because it's too good of a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, skip ahead 20 seconds if you don't want me to spoil this gameplay. Girls, are you familiar with the Doctor Who episode Weeping Angels?
Oh yeah. With the statues that like kill people or something.
Only if you don't look at them. You have to look at them. If you look away, they can attack you. They
Right.
can
Okay.
get
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
And they implement that into this DLC in such a cool way.
Oh,
So
that's
scary. I was screaming. I wish it was like Until Dawn, where you remember it used to record us, so it would get our
yeah.
reactions when something scary happened.
Such a
I
good
wish
idea.
I wish it would do that because I had some great reactions and
Did you
spoofs
play
and
that
scares.
in VR?
It's not in VR. The DLC is not VR.
Oh,
And
okay.
8 is getting VR uh, in a patch once PSVR 2 comes out
Are
next
you
year.
gonna get that VR too?
Oh, of course. No, 100%.
I
It'll
was
be
going.
$400. You don't need to worry. It's not going to be more than 400. Yeah, play Resident Evil Village DLC real good. Go through your eat real quick, and I'll go through my eat real quick.
I've just been trying to because I after my surgery I put on like 25 or 30 pounds because I couldn't move and like I have a naturally very slow metabolism, so I have basically just been dieting nonstop. So going to the gym 2 hours a day, maybe an hour and a half a day, and then eating like nothing. So it's just a lot of popcorn and shakes and stuff like that. Nothing exciting.
I've had bad acne all month, so I've been trying to figure out ways to stop that
Huh.
all of October. So I've also been trying to eat healthier, but not doing a very good job. But I did eat some real good tteokbokki from that place. This time I added cheese, but cheese added so much money. It's
How much?
$5,
What?
but
How
it was
much cheese
good.
is it?
I mean, it's a lot of cheese. It's
Oh,
like
okay,
you
that's
adding cheese
good.
to your soup.
All right,
It's a
that's
lot.
good. Then.
It's a good.
That's good.
It's good. Ate raisins yesterday. It was good. You got to go this Burbank raisins. You got to go earlier in the day. Earlier in the day, it's good. Once they get busy, they don't cook it long enough, so the color is too light and it's like gummy chicken. Like it's bad. I got to talk to somebody.
Oh, that's
I got to figure this
ooh,
out.
especially with chicken. That's murky water to be in.
Well, it's not.
It's,
I'm not saying it's gonna make somebody sick. It's just not as good as Raisin Cane's is supposed to be.
yeah.
Okay. Had some kura sushi. It was good. Had some kimchi and some apples. Had some apples. Okay. Look, I'm gonna go pee. I'll get back to Poke News the week after that. Okay. All right.
All
Be
right.
right back.
Sick. Yeah.
Say to the Clambos, please enjoy this ad break.
Please enjoy this ad break.
Okay.
Air shows going on.
Ballooner?
No. I wish there were balloons.
Oh, hey, I didn't say it at the beginning of the episode. It's episode 21 of Look, Listen with Geese and Guyera. I did say there's no geese. So we were doing holiday specials while we wait because we finished all of Sun and Moon, and now we're going to wait for the Scarlet and Violet anime.
Now we're going to watch a Scarlet Letter.
No. No, so we've just been doing goofy holiday themed episodes, and somehow this is kind of coincidentally ended up in me just watching a bunch of banned Pokemon episodes. So this week we're watching a banned Pokemon episode.
That explains so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Where it's called Beauty and the Beach, where James
That's a good name, though.
James has an inflatable breast device that didn't fly over here, so you can't see that episode. So we're watching all the banned episodes, like the Jinx one and Electric Sword with Porygon and Safari Zone, whatnot. So this week we're
that's
watching
the one with the seizures, right?
Seizures Porygon. Safari Zone is real human gun pointed at Ash's head by human man, and this one the breast thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good old 4Kids. They did that with One Piece, where everyone's just pointing at each other instead of holding guns. And it's a very funny, like the amount of threats that you can have just going like this, pointing at somebody.
Oh, right. Wait, is there a reason you said "but winter is coming" on your game?
Yeah, because I haven't. No, I'm probably not going to play that when it comes out. But
I got to rip through it so I don't get spoiled.
Yeah.
I got pre-order at Street Date Break Place, but apparently people are being people are being shipped God of War consoles with the code in it, and Target was just selling it out of nowhere. I need to get this game because here's the thing. It comes out 1 week before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Are you kidding me? This game is bigger than, I already tread over this, but it's bigger than the 2018. So it's going to be so difficult for me to beat this, not get spoiled, because there's no way I'm not playing Pokemon the day before it comes out. So the timing on this is horrific.
You can burn
and all the reviewers already have their codes, and there's people not even playing it with their pre-release codes. And I just need to hurry up and beat Ragnarok. I'm not going to platinum it. I know
you'll be able to do it. What was the game you had to finish before?
Oh, Last of Us Part 2.
Yep,
I stayed up till 10:30 in the morning because you picked that one day to come back, and I couldn't play because I couldn't spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
played that one.
That game. Oh yeah, you wouldn't have even remembered. That game is 5 hours too long. Very good, but 5 hours too long. Big tangent.
Winter is coming though. I like playing video games when it's cold.
Sick. I have to beat it before Pokemon, but I'll platinum it after I beat Pokemon Scarlet. Violet, excuse me. So I'll go Violet, Platinum, Scarlet. Okay, let's get into Poke News of the Week.
Sounds good.
As soon as we stopped recording last week, they announced a brand new Pokemon. You can see it in the doc. You can give your thoughts on this ghost-type puppy named, what's his name, Grievard?
No, Houndelbra.
No, I wrote it in Poke News. You can see it.
Oh.
Grievard. Okay, I'm following all these Pokemon leak accounts. Nintendo's already sending a bunch of cease and desist letters to all these people, so you better be careful. Figure out where you can get your leaks from.
That's a good design. That's
Central America is where you want to look because they can't get lawsuits over there, I guess. There's a new TCG set coming out in Japan, and the art is incredible. It is the very last Sword and Shield one. Girls, if you would like to scroll down and look at the designs and tell me what you think.
I'm looking at Pup with candle on his head. That is fantastic. Pokemon always have terrific designs. Like whoever, I guess that's their whole business. Those are cute. Like little chipmunks, or are those squirrels?
What are you looking at?
Next to the looking for some English.
Oh yeah, little squilvets.
Yeah. Next to Mew.
You didn't know Mew's name in English? Is that what you said?
No. I was looking for something familiar. I thought the Ponyta was
that's Galarian. Galarian Ponyta.
Okay, so yeah. Then Duck.
Duck. Oh
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a duck. He's more of a pelican, sort of.
Oh.
Cramorant. Okay. Yeah, that's probably good. I already mentioned some Pokemon Go news. We're very close. What?
Charizard fighting Mewtwo's the sickest thing I've ever seen.
Yes, it is very sick.
Holy Moses.
Your language!
Oh my goodness.
There you go. All right, we're going to skip reporter Geese Peep. She's out for Mario Lopez, and we got to...
R.I.P. Mario.
R.I.P. He's alive. Okay.
You said
let's jump. Let's jump right into the episode.
Yeah.
Do you have the name of the episode in front of you? Would you like to tell us the name of the episode?
Beauty and the Beast.
And in Japanese? Just scroll to the top. You'll see it.
Oh,
very tiny font.
Did you put
Just
the phonetic?
read the
in there?
katakana. No, you can read the
Yeah.
translation.
Of course I can. Holiday to Acapulco.
Very close. Yes. Good work. All right. It's episode.
Apulco. Oh no! I couldn't even read the English. See, this is why I don't read a book a week.
Polka Cabana. All right. Episode 18 in Japanese. In my version, they had a whole previously on for some reason. I have no idea why, unless they do that every episode. But
That was my favorite part of the episode.
Apparently last week they found all their Pokemon in a forest, I guess.
The announcer, I actually made a note about that because the announcer was just being so cavalier about the episode recap. And he was like, previously on Pokemon, the gang gets their Pokemon. And it was just a bunch of ridiculous set pieces and flying mine carts and all of this. And I was like, that's an interesting tone to have in that scenario.
So everything's fine, apparently. And we open on a beach. Apparently, no, I already said that. We see Ash and Brock and Pikachu jumping into the water on the beach, and Misty is in a bikini on the sand.
I loved this episode from the beginning. First of all, the intro I haven't heard in years, right? The original intro, and that got
Japanese intro
got me so excited. Is it really?
Oh my god, it's so good.
I'm gonna
have to watch in Japanese.
Okay, I'm gonna go look that up.
It goes so hard because in English they try to like right out the gate show you that Mewtwo and Mew shot. In Japanese, they work up.
Oh,
that's the
sick.
Climax of the song when they really switch it into overdrive. Oh my god, it's so good. Sayonara, bye bye. And then they go. Oh, it's so good. So good.
The Japanese know that like adults are going to watch this too, whereas in America they're just like, oh well, we got to show the flashy stuff right away to catch their attention. I'm assuming
the Japanese version is so funny. The voice acting is hysterical. The screams they do, oh god. All right,
okay, I'll watch Japanese next time.
It's so good. Okay, so there's some kids playing in the sandcastles. There's some people with bikinis walking around.
Before we go on, how is Pokemon structured? How are seasons or series or episode length of a series? How is that structured? Is it like a normal, like a lot of anime will be like 26 episodes?
I think it's just always going because they have new seasons for all the new games,
right?
So they go to new areas and whatnot. Although that's changed a bit recently with Generation 8. They had them travel everywhere and not just in Galar. Kind of interesting.
Because I was wondering when I heard the intro, I was like, I wonder how often they change this. Because if you're watching like a shonen, it's gonna change the intro unless it's Dragon Ball, right? So is like the original run of Pokemon, is that just like 120 episodes or something? Or however many?
I don't remember the exact cutoff, but I can tell you that the song they use in the beginning, it's similar to the song they used in 2016. So they just kind of hold on to it. Keep it for decades.
Okay. So yes,
Misty's
we're at the beach.
Misty's got a big master ball. Big master ball. What do you call those? Giant inflatable balls? Beach ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Beach
Makes
ball.
sense. Or at the beach.
By Niantic.
What? Big master ball, beach ball. Misty asks Ash and Brock why they're staring at her like that, and Ash says, "Why don't you tell me what he says?" Girl.
I remember.
Oh,
that.
Okay.
We're shocked that you look like a girl.
And Misty gets upset and throws the beach ball in his face, and it hurts him. So that must be a tough beach ball.
I was thinking the same thing because I've been hit with water polo balls, like in the face, and I've been fine. Ash has to have taken a beating. He got electrocuted. Charizard probably set him on fire at some point.
She just threw it really hard.
Yeah.
And now we see Team Rocket in their Gyarados submarine. This may be the first appearance of it. I'm not sure. The way they talk it up in this episode, I think maybe.
I mean, it's worth talking up. That thing is so sick. The whole time I'm just thinking, all right, let's look at the trajectory of the main cast and their counterparts, right? Team Rocket. The main cast, they're like, I'm going to be good at Pokemon, which admittedly is the most important thing in the world in the show. But they're like, I'm gonna be the best Pokemon trainer. That's my goal. And every single episode, they're trying to work towards that goal. Meanwhile, Team Rocket's starting small businesses, learning to operate submarines and planes and robots. And they're just getting into all these hijinks. And they've built up this wild and diverse skill set. And they're just like that. That's amazing to me. They're just going in a submarine. And that's,
their
it's
plan
incredible.
is to rob people.
Yeah. And
That's
they
a good point.
Yeah, it is.
They have so many skills they could easily just get a real job. They don't need to steal with all of what they figured out.
That's what happens with thieving, though. It's very addictive.
Speaking of thieving, the kids then steal a yacht, unbeknownst to all of them. They're in a big speedboat.
And Ash is driving.
Ash is piloting
He's
the
like
boat.
11.
He's 10. But they're all just saying, wow, I can't believe you convinced this guy to let you borrow this boat. And Ash says, what are you talking about? That's what Brock did. And Brock says, no, I didn't. I just saw Pikachu on the boat all ready to go. I thought you rented it. And they're just flying on this boat that they've stolen.
And it's just fine. And Brock never says, let me take over, as I am not 10. Because how old is Brock? Brock's like 20, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, maybe he's like 18 or
wonder
early
if they have
20, something
driver's
like
licenses.
I don't know. So they're piloting this yacht super speedboat very, very quickly. And they end up hitting Team Rocket in their sub. Team Rocket drowns and dies, it appears. And then they crash into the docks.
Which is horrific. Like that boat would just be destroyed, but I guess it's a good boat, not a good dock.
An old man runs up. He's furious. The boat belongs to him. In Japanese, this old man's name is Ryu. What's his name in English?
Mo, which is the best name in the show. It's so perfect.
I wish they had localized Street Fighter Ryu to Mo.
Well, because it's like his hat, his whole persona, like the old man who's like yelling about a pier, and he owns like a little shop. It's perfect for Mo. That localization, 10 out of 10 right there.
Yeah, Ryu's his name in Japanese.
God,
all the kids are in trouble. Ash starts to push Misty towards the old man because he's attracted to Misty, so he won't get as mad.
And then she pulls out the line of like, isn't there anything else we can do? And I was like, okay, all right.
Misty. Well, in Japanese, she says they'll do part-time jobs for him to pay for.
That's not what they say in the English version.
Well, that's surprising.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure is.
Okay, it's better in Japanese. And Team Rocket. What
is that still a thing? Working off debt? Like if you go to a restaurant and you can't pay, or do they just?
Why are you asking me? You're the restaurateur.
Well, I've never encountered. I was at a kind of higher end place. We never had anybody that couldn't pay their bill.
Not even once?
Never.
Nobody had a card that was declined.
People had cards that were declined, and those were all very funny. Our system was bugging one day, and I got a black card declined, which is like, comical.
Well, that just means that they think it was stolen, then,
or the system is bugging,
goofed.
Yeah. But I was that kind of got me wondering, like, what would happen if you were, you go up to somewhere. I guess most of the time, well, no, not in sit-down restaurants. In sit-down restaurants, you would pay at the end.
Yes.
Probably just
Team Rocket. Team Rocket washes up on the beach, and an ugly old woman approaches them. I think her name is Baba in Japanese. Do you have an English name?
I can't remember. It's she just looks like Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, of course. So she's gonna have them work at her hut. In Japanese, they call it. They just call them huts. Because their submarine's destroyed, and I guess they need money to repair the submarine, something like that. Oh my god. In Japanese, Meowth's voice, or Nyarth in Japanese, is so adorable.
Really?
Like in English, they're going for a cute, like, wah, 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 but or like a funny, more of a
like
funny.
A goon.
Yes. But in Japanese, he sounds so adorable. The cutest little kitten voice.
I need to watch a Japanese episode.
Oh my god, so good. And then we cut to Beach Shack Ryu Ramen Hut, which is where Ryu has his ramen shop. And what he's going to have the kids do is try to bring business to his restaurant, his beach ramen hut. So the boys Brock and Ash are yelling for people to come in to try to get the tourists interested. We cut back to Team Rocket doing similar things, but to a much greater effect. Is that the phrase I'm looking for? They're way better at their jobs than the kids are at first.
Which makes sense. Is there adults? Or are they like teenagers?
19, I think.
Okay, so adults.
Musashi Kojiro.
Musashi Kojiro?
That's their names in Japanese, Musashi and Kojiro.
Oh, dang, that's sick. Who's Musashi?
Jesse. Okay, so they have a fashionable hut at Old Lady Baba's house. And Ash, Brock, and Misty are furious. In English, are they just fuming? Just staring at Team Rocket doing their job well?
They're really, I want to say fuming. There's more
10
positive.
Minutes of gritting their teeth in Japanese, just staring at Team Rocket. You don't remember that?
It kind of like that, but I think they were trying to sell the like, let's think our way up the mountain instead of leveling it kind of thing.
Okay. So they decide if they're going to compete against Old Witch Lady Baba and Team Rocket, they're going to have to use their Pokemon. So Ash throws out all of his Pokemon, and
my new favorite line
already. What's in English?
I choose everybody.
I choose everybody.
It's a great line. It was a good delivery too.
Okay, so in Japanese, he throws out all the Pokemon, and Pidgeotto's gonna be making the corn. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
It was very funny to me because they were like, oh, I've got a great idea to turn the business around. And they used the Pokemon to just turn it into a functional restaurant. It was like, now you have heat and food. And it was like, now we're succeeding.
Yeah. So we've got Pidgeotto making corn. Charmander is going to cook what looks like yakisoba. Bulbasaur hands out drinks,
right?
And poor Squirtle, he just hands out flyers. He's not using any of his Pokemon powers to any effect. He's just standing there handing out flyers to people. Poor little guy. Well, I guess Pikachu is as well. He's just handing out flyers. And because of all the hard work that the Pokemon have put into this, all of the people show up now because the Pokemon are doing such a great job.
It's the only Pokemon working at any of the places in this entire, what is it, like a resort town, or is it? It's like a resort town, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Acapulco.
Yeah. Well, it's Acapulco. I don't want to say that.
There's beach umbrellas everywhere. Everybody's having a great time, and the happiness next door. Oh, okay. This is a line in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
The happiness next door is our misfortune.
That's a good line.
That comes from Team Rocket about the twerps.
They made some pun with twerp.
Okay. But Meowth has an idea to stop their success. It's all very silly, and I can't believe none of them notice it's Meowth or any sort of sabotage at all. But Meowth grabs a giant fan to blow away all the coupons.
Favorite scene in the episode, by the way.
He pumps oil into the restaurant to ruin the stove. I don't get the science behind that, but I'm sure you do. And he throws a bunch of banana peels to make Bulbasaur and Misty slip while trying to deliver food and drink.
In the do you remember what he says in the Japanese version when he's doing the flyers with the fan?
No, what is he saying?
He just sits there chuckling to himself, going, flyers. And it's just, it's so funny because he's just like muttering to himself as the flyers are flying away. And I was like, that's very good.
So everyone in the restaurant and in line becomes furious within seconds, and they all leave.
Such an emotional roller coaster.
Pidgeotto's so upset. Pidgeotto in this episode is my favorite character, just making corn and being upset. Ash apologizes to Ryu, and Ryu says that every time I say Ryu, I just remember you telling me this story about, it doesn't matter how many years of practice, you'll never be able to say Ryu correctly. They'll always say it's wrong.
I mean, it's not not years. I'm sure you could do it with years of practice, but it's just like very clear when you're not native Japanese speaker, I would say, when you can't do that RD combination or whatever. I was practicing for a while, and I just couldn't get it.
Well, they only have one sound. They don't have an R or an L. They have
Mhm.
one sound that does both of those. That would also is similar to a D. But
Yeah.
anyway, the old man says to Ash, they worked their hardest. It's okay. But then old witch Baba jumps in and reveals that the old man owes her money. Let's just call him Mo, because that's his name in English.
Mo is such a better name. Oh, Dragon is very funny.
Very sick. She says Baba a lot at the end of her sentences. Does she have any vocal tick in English?
Nothing that I picked up on. She mainly was just nasty, you know.
So later in the episode, did they not play it? How do they do the joke with Jesse accidentally speaking like her? Is that just not in the English episode?
I don't remember that part.
All right. When we get to it, maybe you might remember something.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like a Mr. Mime a little bit.
Yes.
In fact, for the Who's That Pokemon segment, they show her, and it's not a Pokemon, but the silhouette is kind of like Mr. Mime. So the deadline for the money he owes is tomorrow. Oh my God, he's going to lose the boat. That's okay. Ash has this little pep talk he gives to Mo, and he's talking about his dreams and becoming a Pokemon master. And he says, don't worry, we're going to get that money no matter what. And then who shows up at the front door?
Oh, I don't remember.
It's Professor Oak and Ash's mother.
Oh, right, and Ash's mom.
They Deus Ex Machina themselves and say, hey, guys, hey, look, there's a contest, a beauty contest. And Misty says, well, I got a beauty right here. And she points at herself. And so, yeah, in Japanese, it's Aopulco Beach Tanned Beauty and Masquerading Pokemon Contest.
That's a great name. I love the logic behind it. Like it's so fun. Oh God, we need money. I don't know what we're gonna do. Let's just win a contest. Easy.
Yeah, it's like 1970 sitcom or something.
Yeah, let's just win the lottery. That's no problem.
So we cut to the contest. There are so many people. There are millions of people showing up to this contest, it seems like. And Oak and Ash's mom, are they going to judge the contest?
It's very fun. Well, I know Brock is a commentator, and he was very restrained this episode. I was super surprised about that.
He did a very good job commentating in Japanese. Got to hand it to him.
Yeah,
I don't know who keeps giving these people all these jobs, but
I have no
lucky
idea.
for them.
It's just that kind of area, I guess. Just show up, you have work.
So Ash's mom asks him if he's eating, if he's causing trouble for anybody. And then Ash immediately reminisces about stealing a boat and crashing it. And he goes, well. But luckily, Mo stands up for Ash. And then we cut to Brock announce.
And lies.
No, he's a good. Then we cut to Brock announcing.
Wrecked a boat. A yacht.
No, it was a big accident. Misty feels awkward. She's up on stage. But she comes out with Starmie and Squirtle. And they're doing like it's a costume contest. So Squirtle's pretending to be an alien. He's got like a little metal hat on, and the Starmie is pretending to be a spaceship. But unfortunately, in English, Brock incorrectly calls Starmie Staryu. Big error.
Uh-oh.
Way to go, English.
Still shocked that he's one of those types.
He just likes women.
And that was like I fixate. That's one of the character traits that I remember from him really strongly, is he's always hitting on Nurse Joy, Officer Jenny. Maybe he's just got a type. But I was shocked that he just didn't say anything. Whole episode. He's just on a beach, and he's like, okay, let's do some work.
Yeah, he's got a job to do. Come on now.
Yeah.
So then Team Rocket shows up out of nowhere, and we get the entire reason this episode is banned. They push Misty out of the way and say, we're gonna win. and James puts up his voice really high, and you see that he's wearing fake breasts that have a pump that he can squeeze to make them bigger and bigger. Everybody loves it.
So funny that I was just watching it, right? I'm just watching it, normal episode of Pokemon and everything, and all of a sudden just sharp cut to Japanese and James with breasts. And I was like, what? What did I miss? What happened? and I thought it was a stream error, and then I was like, oh, right, censorship. Okay.
You thought it accidentally switched to Japanese.
Yeah, I was
clicked
so
the
confused.
Japanese button.
Yeah, just like I brushed it or something, but no. So that was very interesting for me.
No, they just never dubbed that scene, I guess, since they knew it wasn't going to go in, I suppose. So he puts his voice up real high, and they say that Misty is 10 years too young to win the contest, and James says, boyoing, and sabisu sabisu.
What does that mean?
Service, fan service, that kind of thing. I mean, that's a whole Japanese thing,
okay.
like maid cafes and
right, yeah,
and all that. But Brock asks Team Rocket, well, what about your Pokemon? Because that's part of this competition is you need the Pokemon. Ash is furious. In Japanese, Ash is so angry this episode. You just get so mad. Oh, Team Rocket. So Ekans and Coughing come out with seaweed. What Pokemon do they say in English are they trying to look like?
Oh, I can't remember.
In Japanese, they say Omastar, but it doesn't really look like an Omastar to me. So I'm kind of confused.
they said something weird. I thought it looked really sick. It looked like a art. Is it Art Deco the right word to use?
Sure, we'll go with Art Deco.
Sure.
And then Gary comes in. Gary Oak comes in with 14 girlfriends and kicks the Pokemon out of the way. He kicks Ekans and Coughing. It's terrible.
Very funny. When Gary shows up to the thing and the pageant, and Ash says, "It's Gary." As the viewer, I was thinking, I'm glad you told me because I had no idea who that was.
In Japanese, he says, "My rival." Very funny. It's so good because he's just shaking in his boots, gritting his teeth. Rival. Gary's 45 girlfriends all yell for him. Ash runs off and drops Pikachu.
Oh.
Now going back to what you said earlier, Brock loves these girls. Brock is a big fan of all of Gary's girlfriends.
And just the volume of them.
And Misty walks off and says he's always into older women.
Oh, she just says, how am I going to compete?
Team Rocket is also angry at all of Gary's girlfriends. James says he's prettier than all of them. Okay, I know it's written somewhere in here, but I wanted to mention right now, normally I'm all about how much better the Japanese is. Mm-hmm. There are two characters that are way better in English. That would be Gary Oak and Ash's mother. Gary Oak, because in English, he has such a smarmy, hateable voice.
Oh, yeah.
But in Japanese, he just sounds like a kid. Like, it just sounds like a kid is talking, and it doesn't work for me at all. And
I was thinking the exact same thing when I heard Gary talk, because it's been a while. So I was just thinking, God, what a punchable voice.
Very much. Ash's mother in Japanese is fine this episode, but cut a few decades later, I think they're still using the same woman voice actor. So it's the Marge Simpson problem, where I cannot stand listening to Japanese Dahlia Ketchum because her voice sounds like a 95-year-old woman.
Oh no.
Who is this young woman, mother of a 10-year-old. I can't take it. It sounds
and volunteers for an organization, which I liked hearing about, because I always kind of wondered what Ash's mom was doing, just not cleaning Ash's room. But apparently she's a volunteer, so that's cool.
Pretty sick. Okay, so then we cut to Baba Old Lady. She fixed the sub for Team Rocket, and she says, I knew you were Team Rocket the whole time, because I guess earlier they were trying to pretend they weren't Team Rocket when they were trying to get money from Old Lady Evil Baba.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the scene where Jessie is in the fixed submarine, and she says Baba at the end of her sentence accidentally and is embarrassed. So you don't remember anything in English like that?
At that point, I was just drooling over the sub, going through that cave with the lights on, just thinking, man, I want a sub like that.
All right, so they're in the sub, and I guess, maybe I'm a little confused. I guess they're getting in the sub to ruin the chance for Mo to win the contest. That is what their plan is right now?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Big on sabotage this episode.
Then we cut to Ash confronting Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Gary says he's not interested in challenging a low-level opponent like Ash, which, does that ever upset Ash some more?
Oh, he has a great line in the English one, too. he says, how could you ever hope to control your Pokemon if you can't even control yourself? And I was like,
Oh my
oh,
god.
that's got to shake you to the core. Oh man,
Oh.
poor 10-year-old Ash hearing that kind of life thrashing.
So Ash runs to physically fight Gary, and Brock runs up to stop them. But the contest isn't over. Oh my god. Team Rocket, we now see them looking through the periscope. They're in the beach, they're in the water, I should say, but then they engage land mode, and so they become a Gyarados tank and go up onto the sand to run over and murder people, chase everyone. There's mass hysteria, but Ash gets on the microphone and he says, "Guys, it's not a real Gyarados. Everyone calm down."
As if that solves the problem.
Everyone calm down.
Like, oh, guys, don't worry. It's not a tank. It's an 18-wheeler. You're safe. Like, that's a very funny path of logic.
Yeah, everybody immediately calms down, and then his mother, Ash's mother, and I guess Mo talk about, or Professor Oak, they talk about, look how good Ash is at being somebody who solves problems, I guess.
10 years old.
So in Japanese, what you hear Jesse call Ash all the time is Jari boy, which means, I guess, brat boy in Japanese. So she says Jari boy again, and James fires a missile.
That caught me off guard too. Just a missile.
Go Pidgeotto and Charmander. And Pidgeotto grabs onto Charmander, so Charmander gets to fly through the air, and he flamethrowers the missile. For some reason,
Power Ranger thing. I like that.
For some reason, flamethrowing the missile makes it where it will now hit the Gyarados tank instead of Ash or whoever they were aiming for.
Yeah.
I guess.
Fire, sure.
Sure. Oh, no. Oh, God. They're going right for Baba Witch Lady's hut. I guess the Gyarados tank and the missile both destroy... The tank drives into the hut, and then the missile explodes everything, right?
Yeah, it's some kind of just dumpster fire at the end with the explosions, yeah.
Giant explosion, they blast off again, or in English, or even Japanese, they say, "This feels bad," which is translated decades later in Japanese as, "What even is this feeling?" I'm gonna have to do the research myself and figure out exactly what these sounds mean. Because in English, good. I know it's Team Rocket's blasting off again. Ding, is what they say when they explode. In Japanese, I'm getting so many different translations of this word. It must be like yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Because I remember before you were talking about hajime mashite is what you were told to say all the time.
Yeah.
In my experience, people don't say hajime mashite. They say yoroshiku. Which yoroshiku, you can, or yoroshiku onegaishimasu, which is just the more polite version of it. You can easily just explain away saying, you would use it in situations where you would say, it's nice to meet you. But if you wanted to sit there and translate what yoroshiku meant, you'd have to go and have such a full conversation about how deep that sentence is in terms of, please forgive me for anything I may say to you that is not accurately or polite enough. Please, I humble myself in front of you and know that in my heart, I am only meaning for the best. And if I say something or do something incorrectly, I don't mean it. It was an accident. Please forgive my presence. But you use it like, nice to meet you. You just go, yoroshiku. It's just a way deeper.
Social Johns, getting them out of the way before the conversation even starts.
It's pretty clever.
Really is.
In Japanese, they also have that's similar for I love you. In Japanese, you do not say I love you. There's two words you can use, aishiteru and daisuki.
And they both mean forgive me?
No. Daisuki is like, I really love this. You can use that. But aishiteru, which means I love you, is so deep of a sentence. There are only 2 times you would ever use that. You could use that on a wedding day, and you can use that on your deathbed. You can say that right before you're going to die.
Like last
words.
It's
just, yes, that's the only time you should ever say aishiteru. Because it's such a deep... You'd be embarrassed out of your mind to ever say aishiteru. Like, imagine people making fun of, like, people dating for a little bit and somebody says, I love you too early. Imagine that times 10,000. Like, somebody saying aishiteru. It would be the most
Because
embarrassing, humiliating, humbling. You can't say Aish to do unless you're dying
I
or wedding day.
in dealing with like a lot of Turkish people recently, it's the concept of love is very different than we have in the US, right? Because we tend to kind of revere it and commercialize it, but it's like a significant thing. Like you wouldn't say I love you to somebody on the street, but my personal experience with Turkish people is they just bust that out, constantly, right? And it's interesting hearing about that being more severe in Japan, where it's like, oh, you just don't say this. Like your only way out of saying that is death or marriage. So
yes,
that's interesting.
It'd have to be such an occasion. Yeah, it's pretty amusing. Okay, but they have so many honorifics. It's like the highest level.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the episode. What was happening? We cut
Explosion.
Yeah,
Explosion.
we
Team
cut
Rocket
to
had
Mo going
Mhm.
off on his boat. He's saying goodbye to the kids and he's thankful. They don't explain it, but I guess we're supposed to put two and two together that because Witch Lady Baba, her business has exploded and she's died, that he no longer owns or owes the money or he
Right.
won the money. Because
Yeah.
I don't remember at any point in this episode them saying who actually won the contest. I don't remember that happening.
I just assumed because isn't Ash's mom holding a trophy?
She's holding a trophy, but there's no. I Google translated it. There's nobody's name on the trophy. The trophy
Headcanon
says
for me is Ash's mom got the award because she deserves it.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, let me see if I have it written down here. Translate doesn't show a name on it. Oh no, I didn't write. But basically, it's just like winner of Tanned Beauty Pokemon contest is what it says in Japanese. Is there English written on it in
No.
English? Just okay. So nobody knows who won. Ash's mom's holding the trophy. They're staring at the horizon. The kids walk away. Professor Oak says he never looked back.
I love that you have this like Martin Scorsese dialogue in every scene. Like, what is this feeling? He never looked back. And in the American version, it's just like a goof troop calling Ash his mom's little pumpkin is what.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while now. The worst part is the soundtrack because the Japanese soundtrack always goes so hard. And then I listen to the English and they've picked the most podunk free, royalty free, nonsense, goofball preschool music. In Japanese, in the Sun and Moon series, you'd get these Team Skull scenes and it'd be the hardest, sickest music and you get so hyped. Just thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? And in English, it's just, it literally is like Barney music when they show up.
Yeah.
It's horrific. But yeah, they say, good luck, Ash. And that's the end of the episode.
Everything was about Ash making his mom proud in the English version, which I've never heard that dynamic between the two of them. It was always just like, well, Ash, you're in the double digits now, leave the house. And Ash just occasionally sees his mom. But now it's like, I'll make you proud, Mom. And I was like, oh my goodness.
He's a boy grown now. He did it.
Yep. Ready to be the most important figure in the world like Gary, who's slightly older than him, or are they the same age?
Are they? I was getting into this conversation, I feel like last week or at some point. We're trying to figure out when are these people, because the premise of the original series and the premise of the movie that's based on the beginning of the series is, okay, it's Ash's 10th birthday. Go and pick up your starter Pokemon, begin your Pokemon adventure. Oh, wait, he was too late. So he has to get Pikachu instead of Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander. My question is, well, wait a minute. Is it everybody's 10th birthday? Why is he late? Is it every single day?
I would assume it's a yearly thing. That's my only guess. Or it happens seasonally. Like,
so
okay,
the series does not begin on his actual birthday?
It might, but it would make more sense to me if it was like in Hunter x Hunter, they have the exam once a year, and it's like, okay, it's that time, and you're qualified, go do it. Like, this is the first year he's qualified to, so like 11-year-olds could do it, 10 is probably the earliest you're allowed to.
Very sick.
Yeah.
All right, that was a neat little episode. Next week, we'll probably do maybe Safari Zone or maybe a different holiday. This was going to be a New Year's Eve episode, but oh god, that was so tough. It was impossible to find anything for Thanksgiving. Christmas very easy. Halloween very easy.
Mm-hmm.
As far as New Year's, there was only one little bit. There's been a couple New Year's clip shows that are Japanese exclusive, but you can't find them anywhere on the internet, and there's certainly no subtitles, and they're like 2 hours long, so it just wouldn't work for this at all. But so we may be done with holidays, may just go into more band episodes. We'll see. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss before we go into wrap up and questions?
Can't think of anything.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow us on Look Listen Cast on all the social media, such as Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. That's about it. And thank you to Keith Squared for our artwork, which is very good. Go watch Keith. He's on Keith Squared on Twitch. He created a new VTuber avatar, which looks pretty sick. Very cool. Go watch him. Shouts out to Professor Ticklebits for creating our website and the boilerplate at the end of the episode. Please go to anchor.fm. You can find the link at looklistencast.com and support us on a monthly basis. Thank you to all of our supporters. And please recommend the podcast to friends and family, especially because it's a clean podcast, so there's no swears, so there's no excuses. Taylor, would you please read our question this week from Elton John? I realize it says a different name there, but people that listen to this know him as Elton John. So
they know him. All right.
Yeah. Please read the question.
About Mario? It's not about Mario Lopez. Podcast question: what comes first? Let's Go Johto or Gen 5 remakes?
Wonderful question, Elton John. I don't know if we're getting a Let's Go Johto. I was thinking about this just a couple weeks ago. So are you familiar at all, Taylor, with the, I would say, unorthodox Pokemon release schedule we've been getting for the past few years?
As far as like games, card game, or
as far as main games.
Oh yeah. I mean, just from what you've told me, but It seems really weird because it used to be the past, 2 and then the 1.
Yeah, in the past we pretty much would get main games, a third game, remakes. Main game, third game, remakes. Main game, oh, let's do sequels, remakes. Main game, oh god, no third game at all. Let's just go straight into the next generation. Now we're in a point where we're getting more experimentation. So we got terrible remakes this year, it's last year now. Last November, so about a year ago, we got really, really bad remakes. These are the first mainline Pokemon games not to be made by Game Freak. It was outsourced to Ilka, who were responsible for Pokemon Home. Very, very bad games. They didn't introduce anything. They just copied and pasted Diamond and Pearl, and the art on the Pokemon is bad. Like, it has a cute kind of chibi art style, but instead of using pixels, it's just bad 3D art. It's not good. Maybe for a kid, they're not going to mind their first Pokemon. But while Ilka was making that, Game Freak was making Pokemon Legends Arceus. So my theory, and you'd be hard-pressed to convince me this isn't the case. My theory is initially, Game Freak said, okay, let's do Gen 4 remakes. And their baseline is what eventually became Legends Arceus. And they went, okay, this is going really far. This is way more than just a remake of games. So let's go ahead and just make this a new thing, and then we'll just have somebody else make the remakes. Because the only reason they made Gen 4 remakes is because people keep asking for them. We're at the point now where the Gen 4 games, if you really wanted to, if you can find a copy of them, you can still move those Pokemon all the way up. It's going to be, you get like little rewards for doing that too.
Yeah, I was going to wonder what like the big reasoning behind the remake push was. Because I actually think Pokemon games hold up.
It's not that easy to get a hold of. You're going to be paying, like, at least in this country, hundreds of dollars or $80 to find a copy and hope the battery works and whatnot.
So it's just pure availability.
If you go to Japan, you can get them so cheap. I got a complete in-box Pokemon White for $30 in Japan. It's outstanding. But anyway, in the midst of all this, they also, around when Pokemon Go was at its peak, they started development of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which are the first, you could call them double remakes, but technically they're a remake of Pokemon Yellow, whereas Fire Red and Leaf Green are remakes of clearly Red and Green and Blue over here. So people are wondering, are we going to get a Let's Go Johto, which is similar to Let's Go Pikachu, but in Generation 2, where it's really simplified mechanics. So Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, a lot of people didn't care for those games. They are mainline. They're not mainline traditional, which is a big distinction now. They're super simplified. Every Pokemon capture is now like Pokemon Go, where you use motion controls to catch them, and you cannot battle wild Pokemon. The only battles are against trainers and gym leader in Let's Go.
So would you
So it's intended for a younger audience. There's a lot of people who didn't even buy those games. I don't think Let's Go Johto is going to work because Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, it sells and succeeds because the audience they're going after are the people who are our age, who were big into Pokemon as kids and then fell off. And then they got back into it with Pokemon Go. And they think, oh, we can get them. All we got to do is do the Generation 1 nostalgia, just like Pokemon Go, just like what they're playing. And I don't think that works twice. I think the best idea is to skip Let's Go Johto. Don't even worry about it. Go straight into Legends Kyurem. So I don't want to see this, but maybe you pop out another remake from Ilka. Oh, God, hope not. But you pop out a dumb little remake, or don't even bother with the remake. It's up to you. I think Generation 5 is great, just the way it is. But again, tough to find. Okay, here's what I really suggest. Give us just the ROM of Pokemon Black and White, exactly how it was. Don't change anything. I mean, you can add online or whatever. But just give us the game pure, how it was. And then do the exact same thing they did with Legends Arceus, which is set it in the past, but set it in the past of Unova, or Issue in Japanese.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And you must do this because the biggest mystery of Pokemon is set in Generation 5. Do you remember Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem? You were playing a little bit of the card game at that time. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kyurem is a husk of a dragon. Kyurem is the corpse of the original dragon that was all of those Pokemon combined. And we have no idea what that Pokemon looks like. We just know legends of it. And so in Pokemon Black and White 2, you get these fusion splicer DNA splicers that can combine Reshiram with Kyurem and can combine Zekrom with Kyurem. But we've never seen all three of them together. And I think that's what you have to do is you do a Legends Kyurem, or actually you could just name it Legends Name of Ancient Dragon, just whatever they decide on naming it, Legends that. And you set it in, because Unova is based on the United States, so it could be like a Wild West game. And you get to see this original dragon. And I think that's the answer to the question is you make Legends Kyurem, but his actual name. And I don't think Let's Go Johto is going to happen.
How have sales been for all the remakes and everything?
They're good. It's so sad how many they've sold. But the thing is, Switch is a video game selling machine.
Yeah.
Well, clearly, that's a funny way of phrasing that. But no. Games sell on Switch to such a higher degree than anything. Maybe since the Wii. I mean, we sold a lot of shovelware. Nothing comes close. You can just port something, prints money like hot.
It's because it's so accessible.
People love buying Switch games. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm getting my OLED in, what day is today? Tuesday? In just a few days. I'm so excited for this.
Replay Metroid Dread. It's freaking gorgeous.
I'm so excited for this Scarlet and Violet OLED. I would have adored. I haven't got an email, so it's probably not going to happen. And they probably wouldn't anyway, because you're probably real confused what I'm going to say here.
Yes.
But in English, in United States dollars, if I buy this thing with tax, it's $400, which stinks. But if I don't know if you're familiar with how currency is working right now, but yen is so cheap. I took all my savings account and converted it to yen because of how cheap it is.
Oh, but it's good.
So initially I had a pre-order in the UK for this Scarlet and Violet OLED because it would end up being cheaper even with shipping, like $20, $30 shipping from the UK. It would still end up being cheaper. But I ended up canceling that order once I thought about, well, it's not even going to come with the correct power cord, and you're not even going to have any warranty service because it's not from this country if anything goes wrong. That being said, I've never had an issue with any Nintendo hardware. So I'm willing to take that risk. But also, when I had that order, I thought, well, it was placed at a certain time, but if the pound sterling strengthens by the time they ship it out, then I could be screwed over because maybe I'm not getting as good of a deal as I thought.
Oh, that's when they try. Okay.
But if I was capable, if the way they do it in Amazon Japan is because all of these limited edition consoles are so incredibly desired, there's no way to have enough. Rather than in the United States where it's just first come, first serve, whoever has the fastest bots gets the consoles. In Japan, it's a lottery system. So you're picked at random if you're going to get the opportunity to buy. I actually don't think I'm eligible. I didn't see anything that says this, but I would gather that because I'd try to ship it to the United States anyway, I'm not eligible. But if I am eligible and I do win the lottery, I am 100% going to cancel or return my American Scarlet Violet OLED and buy the Japanese one because I'd save $160 doing that.
Wow.
And Japan uses the same power cord we do, so my power cord would be fine, and I'd get a sick box that's all in Japanese.
Yeah, oh, that'd be so sick. And adapters are really easy, even if they use a different power cord.
I don't think you're supposed to use adapters for long term. Like you go on a little trip to Europe, okay, you buy a little adapter, use it, but I don't think that's a long-term solution to just have power your current going through your console into an adapter.
But it all ultimately it turns into a USB connection, correct? USB A to C.
USB-C.
Right? Oh, I thought it had the
USB A anywhere. It's just USB-C to the power.
Oh, okay. I thought that it was. I thought it had a different connection to the adapter on the dock. Okay.
But that's what I would do. I'd much prefer that than spending $400. But oh my god, yeah, I know you don't have a bunch of money to throw on, but I really recommend getting some yen now while the getting's good.
Yeah, I mean that's what I did with Lira.
Just going to save you so much money in the future. Just having all of this money. Oh, it's so funny. They sent me yen and they sent me a bunch of 2,000 yen notes, which is insane. Nobody in Japan uses the 2,000 yen notes. they're going to look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, probably.
Luckily, I told Catherine about it, and she was like, "Oh, I'll trade you some of those because they're so rare and neat. Like, because only foreign banks have them. Like, nowhere in Japan. Like, so all of the bills in Japan are different sizes. So all the cash registers have these different slots for each of the different bills. They don't even have a place to put a 2,000 yen note. So they'd be going, I don't even know where to put it.
That's how they identify the gaijin, the outsiders.
Gakokujin. But yeah, so people, maybe they'll consider it lucky. I mean, since they never see it, it is kind of neat to them. But I'll trade at least one of them and then maybe keep one for fun.
Yeah, that's super.
I think you've still got some yen somewhere.
Yeah.
Other than that, the other yen's fine. That's going to be exciting. Can't wait to go to Japan and finally go to Tokyo Disneyland. Even though Super Nintendo World Universal Studios is opening next year here, the Japanese version has more stuff, so I do want to go to. And I'm going to get this time. I'm going to get. Last time I just stayed in Tokyo. I mean, I went to Yokohama for a day, but that's not that far. Next year, I'm going to get the JR Pass, so that way I'm going to travel up and down like Kyoto, Osaka, all sorts of different places. And since with the JR Pass, you just unlimited train rides at Shinkansens everywhere, so it'll be very convenient. You can only get that as a visitor. Okay, that's the answer to the question. Thank you, Elton John. Thank you, everyone. Japan's real sick. Taylor, do you have any closing comments before I have to pee again?
No, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I have time. You seem like you have to pee now.
That's my secret. I always have to pee. All right, goodbye. Have fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Okay.
Listen.
No, don't leave.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Peep. Thank you for listening to the Geese Peep Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.